All right, continuing our motion and forces unit, we're going to talk about acceleration today. So there's two key terms that you'll need to know, velocity and acceleration. So velocity includes the speed of an object and the direction of its motion. And acceleration is the rate of change of velocity. Acceleration occurs when an object changes speed, direction, or possibly both. So what is the difference between speed and velocity? Well, velocity includes direction, where speed does not. And acceleration, tell me what's the difference between acceleration and velocity? Well, acceleration tells how fast velocity is changing. So your acceleration will tell you how fast your velocity is changing. So in order to make calculations here in our acceleration, we'll have a big formula you'll need to know. So you'll see it written here. Your acceleration is your meters over your second to the second power, and that gives you your change in velocity over time. So you'll have meters over seconds again here. You'll need to make sure that you understand each unit here, and we'll go over that in class a little bit further. But get this written at least in your notebook so you have this formula. A big side note here is that your change in velocity will be equal to your final velocity minus your initial velocity. So the formula there is that triangle is your change in velocity, and that is equal to your final velocity minus your initial velocity, and not the other way around, because that will change whether it's a positive or negative acceleration, and I'll go to that in just a second. So remember, your acceleration formula is A is equal to your velocity, that little f there is final velocity minus your initial velocity over time. So adding to that, we're going to look at the formulas and some examples for positive acceleration versus negative acceleration or deceleration. So in positive, a plane takes off. So you'll notice our formulas there, and for example, our final velocity was 80 meters per second, and our initial velocity was 0 meters per second, and our time it took was 20 seconds. So we plug that into our formula, and we get that final acceleration, which is positive, of 4 meters per second squared. So we know that that plane is speeding up because the acceleration is positive. On the other side of that, if a bike comes to a stop, you'll have negative acceleration. So your initial was 3 meters per second, and your final was 0 meters per second. We plug that into our equation. It took 2 seconds to stop, and you'll notice that you have a negative 1.5 meters per second. So the bike is slowing down, and the acceleration is negative. So that's acceleration. It's a lot of math, a lot of plugging components into equations. So please make sure that you have those written down in your notebook. And a great time to ask questions is while we're doing our experimentation and our problem solving in class.